The Chinese military warned off a United States warship that illegally entered China's territorial waters off the Xisha Islands in the South China Sea on Saturday, a spokesman for the People's Liberation Army said. Senior Colonel Qin Junli, spokesman for the PLA's Southern Theater Command, said on Saturday that the guided missile destroyer U.S. Hopper illegally intruded into China's territorial waters off the Xisha Islands on Saturday without the approval of the Chinese government. The Theater Command has organized air and naval forces to follow and monitor it, and drove it away according to law, he said. Tan criticized the U.S. action as a serious violation of China's sovereignty and security, and another iron proof that the U.S. is pursuing navigation hegemony and creating militarization of the South China Sea. He said that it fully showed that the U.S. is a security risk maker in the South China Sea and the biggest destroyer of peace and stability in the region. The spokesman warned that the troops of the Theater Command will remain on high alert at all times and resolutely safeguard national sovereignty and security, as well as the peace and stability in the South China Sea. In a significant escalation of tensions in the South China Sea, the People's Liberation Army (PLA) of China reportedly issued a stern warning to a U.S. Navy warship that sailed near the Xisha Islands, also known as the Territorial Islands. This move marks the latest in a series of confrontations in the region, underscoring the delicate balance of power in these contested waters. The U.S. vessel, identified as the U.S. ship's name, was conducting what the U.S. Navy described as freedom of navigation operations in international waters. U.S. Navy officials stated that the operation was in accordance with international law, aimed at challenging the excessive maritime claims by several claimants in the South China Sea. Chinese authorities, however, condemned the action, claiming it as a violation of China's sovereignty and security. A spokesperson for the PLA's Southern Theater Command accused the U.S. of provocative actions and stated that Chinese forces tracked, monitored, and warned off the U.S. warship. The Xisha Islands have long been a point of contention in the South China Sea, a region through which a significant portion of the world's commercial shipping passes. China, Vietnam, and Taiwan each claim sovereignty over these islands. The United States does not formally take a position on the sovereignty disputes, but has consistently advocated for freedom of navigation in the area. The incident comes amidst heightened tensions between the United States and China over various issues, including trade, Taiwan, and technological competition. Analysts fear that such confrontations, if not managed carefully, could inadvertently escalate into a military conflict in a region already fraught with geopolitical rivalries. In response to the incident, the U.S. State Department reiterated its commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific. Meanwhile, China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs called for the U.S. to respect China's sovereignty and security interests, and to avoid actions that could escalate tensions in the region. As the international community watches closely, the situation in the South China Sea remains tense, with the potential for further incidents posing a challenge to regional stability. In a recent development that underscores the growing tensions in the South China Sea, the People's Liberation Army of China issued a stern warning to a U.S. Navy warship operating near the Xisha Islands, an area claimed by China, Taiwan, and Vietnam. The U.S. Navy vessel was conducting a Freedom of Navigation Operation (FONOP) in what the U.S. considers international waters, challenging what it views as excessive maritime claims by China. In response, China's Ministry of National Defense released a statement condemning the U.S. action as a serious breach of China's sovereignty and security. The U.S. warship's actions violated Chinese law and relevant international law, infringed upon China's sovereignty, and undermined peace, security, and order in the relevant sea areas, the statement read. The PLA Southern Theater Command claimed to have dispatched naval and air assets to monitor, warn, and expel the U.S. warship. The U.S. has no formal claims in the South China Sea, but has maintained that freedom of navigation and overflight in the area are in its national interest. China, on the other hand, views these operations as provocations and infringement on its sovereignty and territorial integrity. This encounter, like others before it, highlights the delicate and potentially volatile nature of the South China Sea dispute.